welcome to Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids, a series of cautionary tales for lovers of squeam. I call this tale The Barber of Civil. Oh. Rude children should be seen and not heard. Don't you agree, Spindleshanks? Quiet when I'm talking. Do you know what these are, children? Slugs? Oh dear, no! You will probably have heard of a town called Saucy by Sea. Once upon a time, the children who lived in this town had a terrible reputation. They were the rudest children in the world. And the rudest of them all were Tanya and Peregrine. Jingle bells, teacher smells, I wish she'd go away. She looks just like an elephant, I've nothing more to say. There was a gasp from the class. Go and see the headmaster, sizzled the teacher with steam and fury. Now! Tanya, meanwhile, was doing gym. Tuck your skirt into your knickers yourself, she shouted at her games teacher. I'm not doing it.
Tanya, everyone does gym in their knickers.
Not me! I've got a note from my mum!
Where?
Here! Said Tanya defiantly. La! It's a musical note. My mum's always singing it.
Go and see the headmaster, gasped the games teacher slowly. Now!
The headmaster was a wise old man who knew exactly how to deal with cheeky children. Once he'd finished with them, they always said sorry.
Well, what have you got to say for yourselves?
We're not scared of your stupid old stick. If you really want to know, you make us sick. 'Cause you look like a camel with a hairy hump. You're an innie, you're a twit, you're a great fat lump.
Could you get matron, please?
It so happened that the very next day, a new shop appeared in the high street. The sign outside said, Barber. Then in small letters underneath, Children, a speciality. The barber was a cheerful-looking man with a handlebar moustache, bright red cheeks, and a long, licking tongue. He visited the local schools and offered free haircuts to all the children. He very quickly became popular with the parents. Whenever their children visited his shop, they went in cheeky and rude and came out as polite could be. It was the turn of Peregrine and Tanya's school for a visit. Good morning, said the barber as he entered Peregrine's class. Good morning, sir, replied everyone, except Peregrine. Aren't you going to say good morning, young man? No, old boy, I ain't. The barber chuckled. You look like you need a haircut. Come and see me tomorrow morning, he said. The barber entered Tanya's class just as she was flicking ink pellets at the French teacher. The class stood up when they saw the barber come in. Tanya went one further. And what might your name be, my dear? It might be Drop Dead Gorgeous, but it isn't.
It's Tanya,
said the teacher. Tanya, said the barber, and he wrote the name down. I think you're in need of a lock chopping too. The following morning, Tanya and Peregrine turned up at the barber's shop for their haircuts. In the middle of the room stood a large black and chrome dentist's chair underneath a bright overhead light. To the left lay a bag of steel instruments. "Have you noticed that there aren't any mirrors?" said Peregrine. "Perhaps he doesn't want us to see what he's doing." "Ugh, look at these!" shouted Peregrine, lifting the barber's collection of slugs off the counter. "Imagine putting one of those in your mouth." "Oh, no, Peregrine, don't!" Peregrine was pretending to eat it. "No, stop it, Peregrine, I'll be sick."
"So will he,"
said a voice from the back of the shop. Peregrine got such a fright that he swallowed the slug and smashed the jar on the floor. As the heaving, twisting ball of slimy slugs slithered around Tanya's feet, she heard 100 cheeky voices shout out, "Sharp, now, won't do it, don't worry, and I hate you too, and I hate you." "Get them off me!" she shrieked. The barber bent down, scooped up the chattering slugs, and squeezed them into his pocket. Then he smiled and locked the door. He tied a small plastic bib around each of their necks. The children were frightened. Now, who wants to be first? Peregrine with your short back and sides? Or Tanya, I have you down for the full chop. But I don't want all my hair chopped off. We'll start with Peregrine then. Up you come. The barber helped Peregrine into the black and chrome dentist's chair. "Open wide," he said. "Stop!" screamed Tanya. "You're not a dentist. Why should he open his mouth? You cut people's hair." "Whatever gave you that idea?" he laughed. "I teach little children to keep a civil tongue in their heads." "So those aren't slugs in your pocket?" "No, they are children's tongues. The little bits of children's tongues that make you all so foul-mouthed. I snip out the rudeness. I trim off the cheekiness. I cut away the bad language, and when I've finished, I rinse your mouths out with soap and water." Ha 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 ha! When Tanya and Peregrine went back to school on Monday, they were different children. Their tongues were shorter, for one. Also, they didn't swear, they weren't cheeky, and they didn't try to be clever in front of the rest of the class. The barber left Saucy by Sea that week and was never seen again. So if a new barber arrives at your school, I suggest you keep your mouth firmly shut. Do you still want to know what's in this jar? Shan't tell you. No. Well...
Totally summer, totally fantastic.